In this section, we plan to transition the game from single player to multiplayer using ownerships. So first, we move the player start point to this section. Then we select all of them and move them to this section, near the tank. After that, we reposition them again. We select the player and make sure that the photon view is attached to it. Considering that we're using translate and rotate for player movement, we also need to attach the photon transform view component so that we can synchronize the player's movement over the network. Since there are two versions of this component, we can choose either one. I'm going with Photon Transform View Classic, which was part of the first version of PUN. You can choose whichever one you prefer. Since we're using Translate and Rotate for tank movement, we've attached the Photon Transform View Classic component, which has the options Synchronize Position and Synchronize Rotation. To synchronize both position and rotation over the network, we definitely need to check both of these options. We also need to add the same component for tank free blue because we want to synchronize its rotation as well. So we select this object, add the Photon Transform View Classic component, and check the rotation synchronization option. Then in the override section, click Apply All to apply the changes to the player. We need to repeat this process for the other players as well. So we select player green, open it in the prefab editor, and add these components. We return to the scene, select the local canvas object, and add a new script called UI Manager. Then we open Visual Studio. We'll work on this script later, but for now, we just attach it to the other players. So we return to Unity and continue from here. We go to the Resources folder, select Player Green, and open it in the prefab editor. Then we select the local canvas object and add the UI Manager script. We do the same for Player Red. We select Player Blue again and override the prefab. Then we open Visual Studio and go to the Player Controller script. We uncomment this line and here we use this mine property to identify non-local players. If the condition is met, we remove the objects that have the camera controller and UI Manager scripts attached to them. With this condition and these two lines, we've accomplished that. In the update, we only execute the following lines for the local player using this mine property again. So in the start, we specified that we should remove these objects for non-local players. Then in the update, we reversed it by executing the following lines only for the local player. We save the script and return to Unity. At this point, we no longer need the player, so we can delete this object. We save scene 1. Then go to the sample scene and finally we build and run the game. We also click play in the editor. As you can see, both rotation and translation are properly synced across the two clients. However, there is an issue where the red tank is passing through the train. So let's stop the game and fix this issue first. We go to scene 1 and add all the players to the scene. It seems that we haven't attached the rigid body and box collider components to player green and player red yet. So let's go ahead and do that now. Similar to player blue, we attach the rigid body components to player green first, and then we check the freeze rotation for the X, Y, and Z axis. We place this component here. We repeat the same process for player red. Next, we select the tank-free blue object and copy the box collider component. Then we paste it into tank-free green. For player red, we go to tank-free green, copy the box collider, and paste it into tank-free red. Now, we override the prefabs for player green and player red. We no longer need the players in the scene, so we delete them. And then we return to the sample scene. We build and run the game one more time. If you've noticed, there is another issue here. In the local view, the rotation of the green tank's body works fine. But on the network, this rotation isn't syncing. You can easily spot this problem on the left side, near the camera of the blue tank. This issue occurs because the tank's body rotation is being directly controlled through the tank pitch method. So this also needs a photon view component to sync it over the network. And we should add it to ensure it's properly synchronized. So we stop the game and open the player prefabs in the prefab editor. We select the tank-free blue object and add the photon view components to it. We add the photon view components to the green and red players as well. We return to the sample scene and build and run the game once again. So far, just like before, the translation and rotation of the tank are correctly synced across both clients and there is no issue. Now moving on the tank body rotation that had the problem earlier. Fortunately, this issue has also been fixed and everything is working as expected. Let's expand the players and check the isMine property. In this player, where isMine is true, which refers to the client running in the editor, you can see that the local canvas and main camera objects are present. The if statement in the start method hasn't removed these objects. However, if we go to the green tank, you'll see that these objects are not present in this player, and the code is working correctly on this client. So these two lines of code are being executed in the start method for the non-local player, and they are not executed at all for the local player. We return to Unity and now check the second case, where the editor acts as a client. So we click build and run one more time. This time we want to consider the player, the one on the right, as the master. Now we click Start Game button. We expand scene 1 and select player red. Just like before, we have both the main camera and local canvas here. Whereas in player blue, neither of these objects are present, and the player controller script is functioning correctly. So in this client, where is mine is true but it's not considered the master, we still have the main camera and local canvas object. So while these two objects, main camera and local canvas, are present for player red in this system or client, they're not present for player blue. It's important to keep this point in mind regarding isMine property, so that you can better understand concepts like this in networked game development.